Hey guys, welcome back. It's Matt here, and today we are doing an unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. This is one of the latest foldable smartphones by Samsung, and I'm so excited to take a look at it, give my first impressions, and just to give you guys a little overview about what it's actually like to have this as your daily phone, what are the drawbacks, and what are the benefits. Okay, so here's the phone on the table. It's a matte black box, says Z on the front. It looks pretty similar to other boxes we've seen in the past from Samsung. And my friend Dan is going to unbox it. So he's just using a knife. There's a couple of bits of tape on the side. And then you can go ahead and slide off this cover, which sort of exposes the middle of the Z. It's kind of a nice unboxing experience overall. Inside you're met with this card, which just has your SIM ejector tool and some other stuff like that. And then the lid of the box is actually a case, which we'll get back to later. But here's the phone. As you can see from the back, the packaging protection is kind of split into two halves, so for the top and the bottom. So you do need to remove those separately, but it's extremely nice. And finally, taking off the front screen protector, we can see the actual device. So straight away, I can see that there is still sort of a mark in the middle there. So there's still going to be this crease. So if that bothers you, that's something to take into account. And also the borders, like the actual bezels, are quite chunky on this compared to other devices right now. And I get it, it kind of requires some more seal, some security to hold the screen in place because it does bend. Kind of would be nice to have thinner bezels, but folding it shut, it's really pleasant. It doesn't have quite that snap that the Galaxy Fold has, so it does kind of just close until both sides of the phone hit each other. If you're curious about the screen, there's 1 year guarantee for sort of like damage and things like that. But yeah, taking a closer look on the back, it's super shiny. It comes in pink, gold, or black. This is the black model. Has the dual camera on the back there. On the side, you have a fingerprint scanner. And then on the front, obviously, you have that display, which is Full HD Plus, is 6.7 inches. It's a 22:9 aspect ratio, and the PPI is 425, so it's lower than usual. It's 2636 by 1080, so it is kind of Full HD, but you've just got all the rest of the pixels above. But yeah, there's no 120 Hertz or anything like that on this display. It's just your standard 60 Hertz and at Full HD, so there's no Quad HD. Which is kind of a little bit of a letdown, but at the same time, the screen looks excellent, I can guarantee you. But it does feel very premium when it's actually unfolded and folded. It feels very secure, or even when you're just folding it halfway, it does have a very tight hinge. It's quite difficult to actually bend it. And obviously underneath, they've removed that headphone jack, but you still have USB-C, and pretty much everything you can imagine is similar to every other Samsung device, including the hole punch camera. But yeah, that crease is definitely there, you can see it. When you're actually using the device, I've heard that it doesn't really stand out too much. But included in the box, which is a nice touch, they give you this case, and it's just like a plastic transparent case. And I was thinking, how does this attach? But basically there's this sort of adhesive strip at the bottom of the case, which allows it to stick where the fold is. So I was thinking it won't be able to grip, so it does use that adhesive to stay on. So it does wobble from time to time. And other premium cases, I believe, use suction cups like the leather case that you can purchase for this. But overall, it's a nice touch to include, and I guess it protects it and stuff like that. But this new screen does feel extremely good with the glass that bends. It actually does feel more premium, and I can already tell that it's going to be more durable. Also included is some USB-C AKG earphones, as well as a USB-C cable. And you also get this OTG adapter in case you want to plug in a USB stick to your device. And you also just have the standard 15 watt charging plug, so there's no Quick Charge 3.0 or anything faster. It's just the standard Quick Charge 2.0. And then booting it up, it's pretty much how you'd expect. It's just like a standard Samsung device experience. Honestly, it's a little bit weird looking at this display because it's a lot more narrow than every other device, so things are a little bit more smaller when it comes to in the notification bar and just generally reading content. It's more squished inwards, so you definitely do notice that. Especially compared to something like the S10 Plus, things are a lot more squished. Even with that double sort of hole punch, you're getting things quite squished together. So when you boot up, it does actually tell you like warnings, so be careful when folding it, and also if you get any sort of small pieces of things, not to fold your device shut until you've cleaned it of debris. And it does point out that the phone is not water or dust resistant, so that's also going to be another downside for people. But yeah, that's it. The setup process is done, and as you can see, you've got One UI 2, Android 10 running on this guy. It's extremely smooth, and all of the experience is pretty much the same as something like an S10 Plus. The specs are a little bit higher. You do have the 855 Plus, which does pack a little bit more punch, but it's definitely not up to standards of the new chip in the S20, especially for the price. This price is in at £1,300 or $1,300, so it's quite expensive, and I think mainly you're paying for the fold. That's definitely one of the features that is costing the most for the screen, and I think other areas they've had to sort of hold back and not put the best specs in here, or not quite as good as the new S20, so you do need to take that into account. But the folding feature is extremely nice, and in itself it brings a ton of features to this device. One of my favorites is when you're getting a phone call, you can swipe to answer on the outside screen, simply open up the phone and have a conversation, and when you want to end it, you just close it shut. Another one is when you're watching videos, because you can actually go ahead and use it to stand up your device. There isn't too much distortion, but if you also want to watch a video while reading comments or scrolling down the page, you can also go ahead and do that as well, which is really nice touch. And it looks kind of trippy how the content's sort of bending around the screen. Another area is the camera, because as you fold it, the actual viewfinder of what you're seeing goes smaller, and you get these sort of one-hand use controls on the bottom half of the screen. You also have this edge panel, which is not like all of the other Samsung devices. This is actually a multitasking app drawer, and you simply click on an app and it opens, and then you click your second app, and that comes up on the bottom half of the screen. So I really do like how this perfectly lines up with where it folds. It's just super nice to be able to have two screens at once, and I think it's just actually a really cool feature. I feel like it's not too gimmicky. It's more realistic than just regular split screen. Now, considering this device does fold, it's really tall, so if you can't reach the top of the device, you can actually go ahead and use the fingerprint scanner in order to use gestures to swipe up and down, and that can pull down your notification tray, which is just pretty handy. And that screen on the outside is actually surprisingly cool. It is touchscreen, it's got the clock there, and a double press of the lock button turns into a viewfinder, so you can go ahead and take a selfie with it shut, and it uses the main camera, so you're going to get some better pictures. The front-facing camera inside is only 10 megapixels, and it's definitely not the best compared to the primary. Both primaries are 12 megapixel, one is ultra wide as well, so if you do want to get that ultra wide, you can go ahead and close your device and use the viewfinder. Once you've taken the photo, as soon as you open up the device, it does open inside the camera app, and you can then go ahead and view the photo. It displays on the top half of the screen with share options on the bottom, so again, when it's folded, the user interface just changes that slight bit more. Now, even though this is only a marginal step up from the S10 Plus and the chips from last year, it does actually pack a bit of punch when it comes to Geekbench. So it's got 2,803 multi-core compared to 1,902, and I think my S10 Plus is definitely doing a bit worse because it's old and it's got a ton of apps on it right now, so I do need to clear it out, so it's probably clogging it up a bit more. But again, the single core gets a bit higher as well, and I do notice it a bit more snappy, so I'm quite glad to see that, even though I would have liked the 865. Now, if you're curious about how well this fits in your pocket, it's definitely better than it is with a regular phone, because it does fold down to sort of like a wallet size, and it's not too chunky, so when it's in your pocket, it's sort of on par with just a wallet, something like that. So I can see this definitely being better for girls with small pockets. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I will have a video soon on the S20 Plus and the S20 Ultra, so if you want to look out for that, go hit subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it. But anyway guys, peace out. I'll see you later, and thanks for watching.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in